48 undocumented people, including 15 children, have been detained by Free State authorities. There were passengers in a bus that was travelling along the N1 from Zimbabwe to Cape Town. The arrests happened during an operation led by the MEC for Community Safety, Roads and Transport. 11 minibus taxis were also impounded during the Easter Road safety operation due to the drivers not having professional driving permits. For more on the detentions and the Easter period policing in the Free State, we're now joined by the MEC for Transport, Community Safety and Roads in the Free State. MEC, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Let's start off here. What do you make, or rather, what do we know about those who have been arrested who are said to be traveling on the N1?
Thank you very much, and good evening to the viewers. All of them are still in custody. We have to also call the social development to get what, as I indicated, that there were also minors there and unaccompanied minors, because during my interviews with them, we're trying to understand where their parents are, but only to find that they were pointing to a driver being a parent or a legal guardian, but the driver as well did not know who the parents were. So we have to call on the MEC for Social Development, the acting MEC, Ntate to join us at the roadblock, and later on to call the officials of the social development to assist us in dealing with matters, especially those related to the minors that were found on this bus and the other minibus.
And MEC, is it clear how these passengers were able to cross the border into South Africa in a bus with no documents?
It's still a miracle even to us, but I was with some officials from Home Affairs, the immigration officers. The same question that you are asking was the passport, the driver's passport, had a stamp of Bridge. That was an indication that indeed this bus went through a border post. Now, the problem with us was that how did this bus cross the border with so many people? Because the passengers on that bus were about 67, if I'm not mistaken, on the bus. So that was the question. It still remains a question to us. How did these people cross? And throughout the provinces, they should have drove through Limpopo, Gauteng, and Free State. They were still going to continue with their trip. So unfortunately, their trip had to be halted when they arrived in Free State.
And let's talk more about the Easter operation for your province and the work that you have been doing to ensure that road users are safe during this Easter period. Just tell us, the fruits that this has bared for your department during this Easter period.
So far, we haven't really counted all the numbers. We haven't yet, because today we're only dealing with this one that started at around 4 o'clock in the morning. And on Wednesday, we had the launch, because the launch was on N8. Today, we're at N1. But out of the very same one of N8, you could see there were some arrests of the same illegal immigrants. They were traveling in different taxis. They were traveling to Botshabelo. They didn't have documents. And what is also is that we also find out that these people are carrying their fake licenses, the driver's license. But when you hold that license, you could feel the texture, that this texture is not the same as the licenses that we have. And instead of carrying their documents, they'll have a receipt that shows that indeed they've applied or applied for an extension on their asylum. But when you look at it, the license that they have in their possession, it's expired. The date of expiry goes up to 2026, but you are awaiting the approval of your visa this side, or you are awaiting the approval of the extension of the asylum. So there's a lot of contradiction, but lucky enough, we've got Deputy Minister here in the province that we met today. Tomorrow we'll be having some discussions with Deputy Minister Tate Nzuza. He is there in the province just to show him some of these problems that we are facing. Because these people are having documents that are not talking to the other. You have applied for an extension, but already you got a document that you can carry as a driver's license. So there's those issues that we really need to clear with these people. But out of the operations that we had, honestly, it bears some fruits for us, because we had about 28 traffic fines today that we issued out. They were expired licenses. There are people that were arrested that did not even have the permits. And the buses, as I'm speaking to you now at our testing center here, we got 2 buses. There was another bus that was from Pretoria. But what we did, out of the 2 buses that were also impounded, luckily they were driving to Bloemfontein. The congregants were attending church.
Minister, MEC MaQueen, I think you have muted yourself. Could you please unmute yourself?
Speaking to you now, they are not yet released, but some of the mini taxis have been released. We gave them we issued some fines there, but the buses are still at our center here. The other one, that one of Zimbabwe, is still at N1. It broke down when it was to start, because we're thinking of taking the very same passengers to the nearest police station, which was Glen, because we didn't have capacity at that time of vans to load that number. But finally, the police came to our rescue. They brought some vans, we loaded them and kept them in custody. But the bus is still stuck at N1 now. And we can't even pull it by breakdown because the bridge is too high, it's too low for them.
And maybe, MEC, if you can also chat to us about, the attitude of motorists during this period, especially those making their way through the Free State. Would you say that most of them have been abiding by the rules of the roads? Have you seen, many major accidents, perhaps, like we have seen in other provinces? So
far, we haven't seen major accidents. And the response of passengers today, or the motorists today, they were happy. Even those that their transport were impounded, I went to see them later this afternoon there at our center, at our testing center. They were saying, let me see, you are doing a good job. Because really, as passengers, we just jump into cars, not knowing that these people don't even have documents to drive us. So far they were happy, and really their response was just positive and say, continue. But with motorists, what we've observed was that they plan to take these late trips thinking that they can just drive as far as Cape Town. And there was nothing in the Free State, because our operation started at around 4 a.m. And it's something that they did not expect at all.
MaQueen, MEC, thank you so much for your time this evening. That is Free State MEC for Community Safety, Roads and Transport. Her name is MaQueen Letsoha-Mathae, just giving us there an update when it comes to some of the problems they've come across as the Free State province, especially pertaining to motorists making their ways to their various holiday destinations.